Welcome to this another Tech Bite with Cloud Devta. So let's talk about the differences between AI, ML, and DL. So just before we start, just to let you know, AI, ML, and DL are related, though there are some distinct concepts between each of these technology, but they are related. So machine learning, and if you see this diagram that we have in front of us, so this the machine learning is a subset of AI. AI is the bigger field, and then deep learning is the subset of machine learning. So in all, they all are related. Now, starting with artificial intelligence, when a machine or system can mimic the intelligence of a human, that is artificial intelligence. And not only mimic, but also perform some human-like tasks such as learning, reasoning, perception, and decision making. So these are some of the very basic tasks that a human does in terms of the response, communication, and the overall perception. So this is what is expected from artificial intelligence if we compare it with human. Now, if you talk about machine learning, it is the use of algorithm to enable the machine to learn the data or learn from the data that we feed to the machine, and then it would be able to predict or response by itself because it has already learned on the data. There is no explicit programming that is required in machine learning. Like in my another video that I talked about generative AI, we understood that the chatbots in the older times used to be programmatic, where you program it in such a way that for each response or each question there is a response, related response. But machine learning doesn't work that way. It will learn from the data that you feed, and then based on that data it will be able to provide you some comprehensive responses. You might even be surprised sometimes what machine learning comes out with, right? Then comes deep learning. Now, in deep learning, the only difference is deep learning actually uses the neural networks. So neural network is like if you talk about our brain is made up of a lot of neurons which are at each layer, which help us to process very deeply. Similarly, deep learning is another branch of machine learning through which we will be able to go into deep processing. So this is meant for or suited for processing of large and complex data set, especially when we have very large data set and we would like to learn something from that. So that being said, we have seen the differences between three. Now let's take an example to validate our understanding and get deeper into what we wanted to understand. So one example that I would like to take is for the fraud detection systems. So if there is a fraud, like for artificial intelligence, if it is a fraud detection system, artificial intelligence will be using some technologies like machine learning, natural language processing, etc., to detect the fraud automatically, and it would be notifying us, or whatever system we have created around it, we will come to know, or those frauds would be automatically detected. This is what AI would do. Now, what machine learning will do in this? So machine learning will learn by itself from reading the patterns. For example, machine learning would see that these transactions or these fraud that are occurring have a pattern, and this pattern is this is occurring at an unusual time of the day, or unusual large amount of money is involved whenever the frauds are there. So this learning is actually an example of machine learning, right? And similarly, if you go into deep learning, if there is a large set of data that you have in which you also have a lot of instances of fraud that have happened, deep learning will go use its neural network to actually understand it and then give you some proper guidance around how these frauds are occurring. So this is the difference between AI, ML, and DL. I'll see you next time. Thank you.